And welcome once again to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers, we're here every week meeting interesting people and dealing with topical issues, and we welcome back an old friend for this show.
Indeed, the Chancellor at Oklahoma City University, Tom McDaniel. He's coming back for his 5th appearance on The Verdict. He's always got a lot of good information about what's going on at the city's university, Oklahoma City University, and he's got a new role. A new vision for Oklahoma City University, and we're going to get to hear about it.
No longer the president, but still very much involved, not only at OCU, but leadership in Oklahoma City. We'll be back. Tom McDaniel, today's guest on The Verdict.
We didn't just wake up with this problem. Barrel by barrel, dollar by dollar, we've been exchanging American security for foreign oil. Enough. We're home to a 100-year supply of natural gas, and now we know its potential. Fuel, power, cleaner air. See how natural gas is making a difference at chk.com. Chesapeake, America's champion of natural gas.
Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate. We're accountants. We do taxes, business valuations, estate planning, and consulting. And we're right here in Oklahoma, working with the owners of small and medium-sized businesses. Steve Wilsey and Stuart Meyer have the resources and the experience. Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate in Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
There's no waiting at the St. Anthony ER.
No waiting.
Announcing the end of ER waiting at St. Anthony Hospital. Go to saintsok.com and reserve your time online.
Why didn't we think of that?
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers, and Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
We're really pleased to welcome back an old friend to The Verdict, the Chancellor of Oklahoma City University, Tom McDaniel. Tom recently retired as president of Oklahoma City, where he had a startlingly successful career as president for about 9 years. He raised, or was instrumental, and he and others, in raising $150 million for Oklahoma City University for their endowment and their programs. He has been designated as Chancellor of Oklahoma City University and is starting a new job and a new position, and we wanted him to come back on and do a couple of things, kind of reminisce about his 9 years as president of the university and what he's looking forward to in this new position. Well, welcome back. Good to see you.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here with you.
I remember one time misspelling Chancellor in a spelling bee, so
So you didn't win.
No, it's a hard word.
It is
Too
a hard
many
word.
L's and an O in the end. It's just we should rewrite that word, I think. If you're,
I agree.
How's it going for you?
I really like it. At our university, no one really knows what a chancellor does, and that makes it a really wonderful job.
Well, then tell us. We won't tell anybody else. What does the chancellor do?
Well, at OCU, I think a description would be president emeritus. I'm out of the day-to-day operation of the university and concentrating on what I'll call external things. They have asked me to stay active in the community, and so thanks to the mayor, I've gotten a couple of new jobs working with MAPS 3, which I'm very excited about. Also going to stay active in the Chamber of Commerce, the Oklahoma Heritage Association, things like that. And then trying to help us stay really closely connected to our church. which is an important thing at our university, and work on special projects that the president would assign to me. I'd say would be generally the description.
Talk about the transition between your administration as president and transferring it over to Robert Henry, the new president of Oklahoma City University. How'd that work?
Well, I'd like to think that we have done that as well as anything we've done at the university since arriving. I gave the trustees a year's notice. I told them last July that would be my last year. They appointed former Mayor Ron Norick to chair a search committee, and they did a search for several months that ultimately culminated in them hiring Robert Henry in January, and he is, as you already know, a very gifted and highly credentialed person. I don't think they could have picked a better person to be president of OCU. And he started coming to our meetings in January after he was selected. And so we had 6 months to really have an orderly transition. And I think he's off to a great start, and I think the transition has been fabulous.
Mm-hmm. What is the strength of Oklahoma City University? If you're going to talk to the new president and give him one thing right up front, this is the best thing about the school, what did you say?
I would say that we're Oklahoma City's university, and that every great city needs a great university, and we're trying to be that for our city. We're a private school, as you know, and our key is that we have small classes, great faculty, and a real personalized educational opportunity with an opportunity for spiritual growth, and that's what we do. And I think that's the best thing about our university.
Staying on that topic for just a second, to refresh our viewers on approximately how many students in a given year will be on campus.
We have about 4,000 students, have about 3,750 or so full-time equivalent. We have a night law school, we have night MBA classes, we have night master's programs, and so like most metropolitan universities that you would know of, we have a lot of part-time students, but in a given year we'd have about 4,000 students on campus.
Well, now, insofar as the law school is concerned, you mentioned the night law school. You also have a daytime law school. You have both,
yes, we do. And interestingly enough, Kent, we have what we call a sunset program too, so that you can take part during the day and part during the evening. So that's something that neither of the other law schools in the state have, and we're very proud of our heritage of offering that opportunity for working Oklahomans and people who live in Oklahoma City that just couldn't get there during the day. So we have that opportunity for them.
Let me interject one other thing. I know your office now as Chancellor is in the law school itself,
yes.
Law school building, Sarkey's building. Do you envision in the future perhaps you're taking on some teaching role there?
Well, Larry Hellman, the dean of our law school, offered me that opportunity, and the answer is yes. I've been teaching a class, an undergraduate class called Insights into Leadership, and I'll be teaching that this fall. But to get ready to teach in law school, as you well know, Kent, requires some preparation, and I wasn't quite ready to do that this fall, but I hope to next year.
We hear a lot about how learning is changing and education is going to have to change, that kids are more wired and there's all these opportunities with the internet. What's your take on that? Is education going to have to change? Has it changed drastically, or is it pretty much like it was 30 or 40 years ago? You still have a teacher and you still have a student.
Well, you still have a teacher and you still have a student, and no matter what educational policy or technology you have, if the person at the front of the room doesn't get the job done, the job doesn't get done. And so having qualified faculty is the most important factor. But actually the technology has just improved the faculty's ability to teach. Seeing things, and so we have every technological advance that the faculty ask us to provide for them, and I think it's a real plus. And of course teaching is changing, and we like to see them change with the times.
We talk a lot about early childhood education. Is that something that from the university level is pertinent, or do you just pretty much just say we'll take them from 18 on?
Well, I don't know that every person that works at a university would think this, but I think that early childhood development is key. Maybe it's because I'm the vice chairman of the board of Smart Start, Central Oklahoma. Maybe that's skewed my thinking a little bit. I absolutely believe that early childhood development is extremely important, and that it is a step, an important first step for what is, I'd like to say, a lifetime of learning. And that's, as a university, that's really what we're trying to do, is create an incentive to learn for your whole lifetime.
Talk to our viewers a little bit about your fundraising activities that you and others successfully completed. I know that you've raised about $150 million for Oklahoma City University, and the most recent campaign finished like 14 months earlier than planned. In a down economy, how in the world did you get that done?
Well, I say you have to have a cause or an institution in which people believe, and you have to be doing something that people want to be a part of. It certainly wasn't me. I would have to say that if anything raised the money, it was our students. When we were able to get people who had the will and the capability of giving to our campus, when they saw our music program, our dance program, when they saw the things that were going on our campus, I think that that's what sold them. I'd like to tell you that I was just so doggone glib that it happened, but we all know that that's just not true. What sells them? Programs and students, and that's how we did it.
Your school has been very impressive in getting international students, but in the wake of 9/11, it seems like there are all sorts of issues for universities who are trying to recruit the international students. How have you seen that change in the time that you were president?
Well, I came in 2001, which you will remember 9/11, 01, happened just about the time I got to OCU, and it dramatically changed the composition of the classes at OCU, simply because international students for a while could not get visas to get here. And so it had a dramatic impact, both educationally and financially, on us, because we had a good number of international students. But for us, we continued to try to grow the domestic base and continue to try to get qualified international students, and slowly that is building back.
Well, I think we need to get to a break.
We'll do it. Tom McDaniel, our guest. He's the Chancellor at Oklahoma City University. We'll be back with more of The Verdict right after this.
My name is Wyatt Parker. I am 20 years old. I am a composer, and I am a Chickasaw. The way I prefer to express myself is through music. I like all the obvious guys, you know, Mozart, Beethoven. The way that I like to come up with music is really not to come up with it at all. I just like for it to kind of appear in my head. It's about listening. You have to be a good listener in music as in life. I would say the Chickasaw Nation stands for its people. I would want to be known as a Chickasaw composer who is trying to do great things with music. With all the opportunities that the Chickasaw Nation is offering its people, it's a great time to be a Chickasaw.
What's your idea of security? A good-paying, sustainable job? A solid economy? Less dependence on foreign energy? We can achieve it with the help of one industry, American oil and natural gas. It creates energy, jobs, and a strong economic base we can rely on. New technologies open vast reserves that will supply our energy needs far into the future. Because security, by every definition, is worth protecting.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers and today's guest, Oklahoma City University Chancellor Tom McDaniel.
Tom, tell us what's going on now and in recent past in the academic area at Oklahoma City University.
Well, we're really proud of all of our academic units, but one of the things that's new on our campus that we're really excited about is the seminary. It's St. Paul's School of Theology at Oklahoma City University. It is a partnership with St. Paul in Kansas City. which has been a seminary there for many years, 100 years maybe. So we're in our third year. We entered into a partnership agreement with them. They're housed in the chapel, had about 25 students the first year, 50 last year, and we expect to have about 75 this year. Our goal is to, over time, to have accommodate about 200 people that feel the call to the ministry and would like to get a master's degree in theology.
Is that a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year program? What's it?
Actually, it's about a 2 year program, but it's different for everyone. Many of the people who come to the School of Theology are already in pastorates or working in churches, and so it's part-time for them. So we have probably the majority of the students are part-time students, so they all go at a different pace.
What about facility improvements?
Yeah. Well, for OCU, we have a brand new nursing facility that's going up now. If you've been by the corner of about 27th and Blackwelder, you'll see a great big 3-story building to accommodate the growing need for nursing. And our nursing program has grown almost exponentially from 75 to about 375.
I don't know of a hospital who isn't actively looking for nurses. It certainly is a demand for that.
And Mayor, there's also a great demand for people who can teach nursing. And as a result of that, we have started 2 PhD programs in nursing, and we already have a master's degree program in nursing. And so getting people who can teach it as well as practice is important.
What's your expectation about how many students that School of Nursing can accommodate at a given time?
Well, we think that this will allow us to accommodate maybe 450 students, and as you know, Herman Minders has been overwhelmingly generous with us, and it is his help that's helped us to do this.
Let's talk about the boathouse down on the Oklahoma River.
Yes. Well, Devon Energy is building a new boathouse called the Devon Boathouse, home of Oklahoma City University rowing. And our rowing coach, Mike Knopp, someone well known to both of you, who I think is just a very visionary young man. The most exciting thing about the Devon Boathouse is that it's going to be ready, we hope, this fall or pretty soon after that. It's been an effort that's taken a lot of people, including the River Trust Authority, the city of Oklahoma City, Devon Energy, and OCU, and we're very proud of it. But the most interesting thing about it is, as a result of that, it looks like U.S. Rowing is going to move a training center here so that Olympic hopefuls will be training on the Oklahoma River, and in fact already are.
Yeah, there's some in town or have been in town.
Absolutely.
Doing training.
Yes.
How's Brenda getting along with you being around a little more? Or maybe you're not around any more than you were, but.
Well, this is her motto, for better or worse, but not for lunch. So so she's glad that I have an office in the law school and that I'm out and that the mayor's keeping me working. But she's doing great. She's still active in a lot of things, and she's been asked to head up the Allied Arts Drive this year with Ed Martin, and she's agreed to do that. So she's going to be busy.
Why don't we talk about the MAPS 3 Advisory Board that you so graciously agreed to chair? And it is basically a citizen oversight committee that kind of looks over the projects, looks after the taxpayers' money, and then advises the city council on best direction. How's that going so far?
Well, actually, it's been really exciting. We've had 2 meetings, and in those meetings, we have first heard from the mayor, and then we heard from all of the projects that are included in MAPS 3. The people who are involved in those projects came and explained them all to us. We have a meeting this coming Thursday, which will be our 3rd meeting, and the mayor has now appointed the subcommittee, and there will be a subcommittee for each project. But the subcommittee on the convention center has been appointed, and we had our first meeting this past Friday about that. And more than anything, I would just say that there is an air of excitement, there is an air of anticipation, and I think the attitude of the people working on this is outstanding.
I tell you one thing I've noticed is that everybody wants to do everything at once.
I've noticed that too.
Yeah. Now, I assume you've heard from proponents of all 8 of the projects. How in the world does the advisory board take all this in and start trying to figure out which projects should go up front and which projects should go second or third on down the line?
Well, as you well know, the money for MAPS 3 is coming in from the sales tax, and this is a pay-as-you-go plan. So the pace of the income has something to do with the projects that you select. And then some of the projects are dependent on others. For example, where the convention center is going to be located would have something to do with the transit plan, and so forth. So prioritizing how we do this based on the money and the need for the projects, we're expecting to hear from some of the projects that they need what I'll call early bird status. In other words, they need us to approve step 1 and step 2 so that they can move forward with other steps. And I think we'll hear that this coming Thursday from some of the projects, including the river.
Well, let me ask you about the makeup of the oversight committee. It's all citizens, I guess, of Oklahoma City.
Yes.
And what size group is it, and what kind of constituencies are represented?
Well, each ward, each councilman, I think, made a recommendation to the mayor from each of the 8 wards, and then there were 2 at-large appointments, and then the 11th member of the committee is a member of the city council. In this instance, for this year, it's Larry McAtee. The other at-large person is Dee Morales, and I'm an at-large appointment, and then the others are from the 8 wards. So we have a great group of diverse folks with wonderfully different backgrounds, and I might say all ages. And I think the mayor did a great job, and the council, I might add, of appointing a very diverse group. In fact, I didn't know, except for Councilman McAtee, I didn't know any of the other members the first time we got together, but I've gotten to know them, and I'm very impressed.
What is your sense of, what kind of reports are you getting about how the money's coming in?
Well, that's documented, and I'm going to say that we've taken in something between $15 and $20 million since April.
It would be around $7 or $8 million per month, and we're running ahead of schedule. I think the MAPS 3 revenue is over $1 million ahead of target. So it's very, very good news, because you'll remember during the campaign we were constantly defending our revenue projections. So to be ahead early is where you want to be. You know, it's a long series of 7 years, 9 months. We may not be ahead forever, but we're ahead right now.
But we're talking about sales tax.
That's right.
And
That's right. That penny on the dollar sales tax.
And I'm reading where sales tax collections are improving statewide. I presume that they're improving Oklahoma City.
Our last one was a record receipt. We had never had a sales tax report like the last one. It was 15% ahead of year to year.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is.
Yeah. You know, and what I'm hearing some of it's being addressed by is all the contractors that are in town working on people's roofs. And you don't think of the financial impact of people that are coming into town. So much construction is going on in the city right now. There's a lot of people here that are temporarily working on construction projects.
We got about a minute left. Where will Tom and Brenda McDaniel be 5 years from now? What's in the future for Tom and Brenda?
Well, I'd like to think that we'll be involved in our community and enjoying having our 3 sons and 5 grandchildren here in town, and we hope to be working to help our community and our church as long as we can.
Well, Oklahoma City is certainly better for it. Tom McDaniel, thank you very much. And I know you're still very early in this new role as Chancellor at Oklahoma City University, but I know you're going to exceed just like you have every other step of the way.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Thank you.
All right. Kent and I'll be back with a final word right after this.
All children deserve a life of hope and love, but sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children, helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information. And for almost 30 years, Oklahoma political, government, and business leaders have turned to the McCarville Report for accurate, reliable, inside information. Visit the McCarville Report online.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers. We're here wrapping up a show in which we visited with the Oklahoma City University's new Chancellor, Tom McDaniel.
Yes, Tom and I have been friends since law school. He was 1 year ahead of me in law school, and that was at a time when both of us had hair. And he was an excellent student. He's just excelled in everything he's ever tried to do, from being college president to being the general counsel at Kerr-McGee and on the board of direct vice chairman at Kerr-McGee, and then president at Oklahoma City University. And I think, quite frankly, I'll just compliment you right here on the air for your appointing him as the oversight chairman on the MAPS 3 committee. He'll do a grand job in that as well.
In the 9 years that Tom was the president at Oklahoma City University, the university made great strides and almost, and not coincidentally, mirrored the city's renaissance as well. I mean, I think the university and the city are so tied together because they share the same name. And if Oklahoma City's doing well, it's going to reflect well and present opportunities for Oklahoma City University and vice versa. And so I think it is a wonderful, great relationship.
It truly is.
And we have some website information. If you'd like to get more information on Oklahoma City University, you might be able to find a biography of Tom McDaniel on there. Go to their website. It's okcu.edu. That's okcu.edu. And if you have an idea, a topic, or a guest that you'd like to see on an upcoming edition of The Verdict, please let us know. Go to our website, theverdict.tv. That's theverdict.tv. You can log on there and give us a topic that you'd like to see Kent and I discuss, or a person that you'd like to see us visit with. That's going to do it for this show. For Kent Myers, I'm Mick Cornett. We're so glad you chose to join us this morning on The Verdict, and we'll see you next week with another edition.
The preceding program was produced exclusively for the Cox Channel.